All right, guys. Good morning. How's everyone doing? Good morning from Japan. That's crazy. I want to go to Japan. Got my squeaky arm here. All right. So, good morning. So, another another upside move yesterday. One thing that happened yesterday was we saw a strong pre-market, right? We were on the stream here, guys. We saw a really strong pre-market. And I don't always love a strong pre-market. So a strong pre-market usually can signify some morning weakness. We talked about in our morning little chat in the Discord about let's be aware of a morning pullback, right? Let's be aware of that potential morning little downside move after a really strong pre-market. It's pretty common to see that, and that is what we saw yesterday. So, watch you every day. Thanks, Dab. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. Thanks for the support. Yeah. So, when you have a really big pre-market like yesterday, that was just almost vertical at some point. You get that morning pullback. So you got the morning pullback, but you came back to some key levels, and then you find support like we have been all week, last 2 weeks, and then you find that end-of-day run. That's what's been very common these days, very common in the market lately. You get your pullbacks intraday, but they don't break anything important. So the first day, I think the way to judge, whether this market is losing steam, if we continue or not, is to watch the intraday price action and to see if we start breaking down key levels. Because over the last week and a half, we've had pullbacks intraday, but none of them have ever gone far enough to make anyone really concerned about it. So let's see what happens today. We'll talk about the levels I'm watching today and sort of talk about what I think needs to hold up. We all should mentally prepare here for... we should all mentally prepare here for a day where things start to weaken, right? I mean, we can't expect this to continue every single day of the week. I'm mentally preparing myself for that day. And if it happens, you have to know that it's completely normal, right? There's going to be a pullback. There's going to be something of weakness at some point this week. It's going to be hard to time it. But just make sure you guys are aware of that. And like we say in the Discord chat, don't get stuck with your pants down because when the tide comes in or when the tide goes out, we will see when whose pants are down, right? That's the trading saying, right? So just make sure you guys are still focusing on risk management. I want to make sure to start with this because, in a rally like this, guys, it's very easy to lose judgment of what you're doing because you think that it's just like almost just going to continue up every day. There's going to be a day where a lot of people's pants are caught on the ground. So let's make sure to mentally prepare for that. If you're part of my Discord, if you watch my live streams, I want to make sure that everyone that's here watching or in my Discord is aware of that. I don't want anyone that I associate with to get trapped or to get messed up in any type of pullback because there will be one, but I just don't know when. So make sure to focus on risk management. Make sure to focus on, making sure your positions are correct. Make sure to manage what you got in your portfolio. Make sure to do some portfolio management to make sure you are protected by any type of downside move. I know, it's been very nice and it's been beautiful to see the upside and it's been great for me. I'm sure it's been great for a lot of people. But we want to make sure to still focus on managing our risk. So that's my first thing I want to point out today, guys, because it will come and we need to be aware of that. So today, let's do our normal futures analysis economic earnings calendar. Let's go ahead and go through some names. First of all, here is the economic calendar. How to move to Portugal, if anyone's interested. Very nice advertisement here on the right side, very large text. How to move to Portugal. Today, Wednesday, ADP employment report and GDP revisions. That's going to be interesting. That is going to be interesting. So that's 8:15. That's in 10 minutes. And then GDP revision at 8:30. Gross domestic income, corporate profits. And we got a few Fed presidents speaking today as well. So 8:30 could be interesting, guys. Let's see what the GDP revision is. That's a sort of an important thing. What are they revising GDP to be? Right now, it looks like the median forecast is 7%. So we'll have to see what it is. But 8:30, that's pretty important. Thursday, tomorrow, we got jobless claims. We got PCE price index, real disposable income, real consumer spending, Chicago PMI. So we got some stuff here tomorrow. And then Friday, you got your non-farm payrolls, unemployment rate, average hourly earnings, etc. So we got some economic news on the docket here, but today GDP 8:30, so let's be aware of that. Yesterday we had Lulu and MU. I think those were the two big ones for the earnings calendar. So let me go ahead and pull that up here. So yeah, Micron, MU, and Lululemon were two of the big ones yesterday. Chewy, Restoration Hardware also reported, but they both did pretty well. Lulu and Micron. Lulu actually announced a $1 billion buyback. So I think that's probably what's helping that stock this morning up nicely. MU did well also. Today, UiPath, nothing too big today on the earnings calendar. Moving forward, we have I think that's Walgreens. Yeah, it's WBA, Walgreens. That's about it. BlackBerry, if anyone's interested. I am not. But Lulu, Micron reporting yesterday. Earnings calendar sort of getting, sort of drying up here. Not much there to look at. So that's that. Tesla first red day. Yesterday was the first red day in about, I think it's about, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Almost 2 weeks. Tesla first red day in almost 2 weeks, guys. So let's be aware of that. You still got that gap on the daily chart. NVIDIA 290, big resistance to watch out for. Square, PayPal, perfect setups. Love these setups. Beautiful charts yesterday. I want to share with you guys again. I know I talk about these every day, but I want to share it again. I want to show you how it's setting up. I hope everyone has tried to take advantage of some of these moves because Square and PayPal look great. Costco, all-time high rejection. Yesterday we came into all-time high. We rejected, but it still held up pretty well. So is Costco going to go for it again? Worth watching today. Apple, just a monster. This is why I'm so bullish on Apple. You guys know I'm a very big Apple bull, sometimes delusionally, but it's for a good reason because the market likes Apple, investors like Apple, and Apple's basically at all-time highs. I mean, I'm just gonna call it. I'm just gonna say it here today that Apple's at all-time highs, in my opinion. I know it's not, but I mean, look at this. What are you at? You're like $2 off. $2-3 off. You're 2% off all-time highs, guys. That's 1 day away, one strong day away from all-time highs. Maybe there's some pullback, which there should be. But yeah, Apple's just an absolute monster. And this is why I continue to buy Apple no matter what the hell is going on. I don't care what's going on in the world. I'm buying Apple shares. Facebook holding an uptrend. Very nice. I really like this play. I'm still in a swing trade on FB. I like the uptrend that's continuing to hold. I want to share with you guys again today. Affirm and Upstart. These are interesting names. Because I think they perform well into the future. I like their business models. They have been sort of beat down because of just Upstart was ridiculously overextended, ridiculously overvalued back before we got the pullback from January this year. Affirm was another one that was ridiculously overvalued and sort of just got pumped up in the small cap stocks that just rallied and continued to rally last year, where everything was just getting overvalued. But I still think I still like these businesses. I think Affirm's a smart business. The buy now, pay later. I think that's going to be important into the future. Upstart giving out loans, I think will do well into the future as well with rising interest rates. Affirm will take advantage of rising interest rates as well. So these are two names that I do watch, and I want to share with you guys my thoughts on these two. I know a lot of people are probably interested as well. And then Netflix. Netflix, interesting move yesterday. Netflix is a stock that's been really beat down, 70% at one point, and it's doing nice little retest levels. It's starting to perk up a little bit, and I want to show you guys Netflix as well. Then we'll go over what the members want to look at, and we'll get out of here, guys. We'll start our day. So, futures, that's where we start. That's where we start. First thing I want to point out, guys, I got 3 levels on my charts, guys, and I'm going to talk to you about the importance of these 3 levels. First of all, the level that we're at right now, which is right here around 15,260. That is a very big level, and we have started to pull back off that level. Why is that level important? Well, if I zoom in here, guys, I don't love SoFi as much, Darwood. I just don't like, I don't know. I don't like SoFi as much, but yeah, I mean, SoFi's similar. You could go for that one as well. But yeah, anyways, so you got this previous resistance right here, right, guys? From February 2nd, you guys can see that right there. See that resistance right there? The high of this candle from back on February 2nd was 15,260, guys. 15,260 on the dot. Yesterday, we came right into that level, right? If I go to let's go to the 4 hour. You guys can see it right here, very clear as day. You guys see this right here? 15,260. Look at what we came into yesterday and look at where we started to reject. So, right there. Look at how perfect this little rejection is on the NASDAQ. This is a big level. This is a level that I could see, a pullback off of, right? I would understand why we'd pull back off this level a little bit, right? Maybe we pull back to the 20 SMA on the 4 hour. See how the 20 SMA has sort of been holding up the NASDAQ on the 4 hour chart? You can see how we're starting to deviate from it here. See all this dead space under the 20, above the 20 SMA over here? Maybe this is where we need to pull back to the 20 and find support once again, right? So I'm thinking you get a pullback off this level. If I'm wrong, great. I'd rather be wrong than be right, honestly. But this is definitely a level that I don't think we can ignore today, guys. Because not only is it this previous resistance right here, you see right here, previous resistance, coming into resistance again. Not only is it resistance there, it is also the 100 SMA It is also the 100 SMA on the daily chart. So you got a lot of resistance here, right? You got a lot of confluences to cause a rejection, to cause a little bit of a slip. So I'm definitely a little bit cautious this morning, guys. I definitely would consider taking profits on some of my shorter term swing trades if they're like April 1st or April 8th. I would consider taking some profits depending on what I see intraday. Of course, I'm still going to give it, the benefit of the doubt, see what it does intraday. I'm not going to just panic out of this because we're starting to slip off this. But that is a big level, guys, and I just wanted to make sure everyone here is aware of that level this morning. 15,260, 100 SMA, February 2nd resistance. We rejected it almost on the dot. If I go to the 5-minute chart, you guys can see yesterday. Look at this. Look at this little double top here from yesterday. We came into it, rejected, tried again, rejected, almost tried again here, rejected again. So here's your wall. Here's your ceiling at 15,260 today. What do I want to see to make sure that I am still bullish on this market, right? Because the market has made nice structure, and maybe we just want to see this structure continue, right? Because we can see there's structure in here, right? There is this little right here. Where was it? This one, right? This previous resistance into support. You got the same thing right here, right? Another previous resistance into support. You got another high right around here, right around 14,850, and then you got the 15,000 level. So these are sort of the levels that I'm watching on an intraday basis, because I don't want to see these just start to all break down, right? I don't want to see, this is what would make me start to feel bearish on this market in the short term, is if we just start cracking all of these levels. It's sort of like a bowling ball falling through like drywall or something, however you want to imagine that. It's just like cracking through levels that you'd want to see hold. So first one, I think's got to be 15K, guys. I think you're gonna want to see a 15K hold at least. You don't want to see the market trade under 15K again if you want to stay bullish here. That would be the first one I'd watch right there. Next one, 14,850, right in this previous high. Next, you got a huge one here at 14.7. And then this one down here, which I really don't want to see a pullback down here, but 14,450, right? Here's sort of those stair-stepping patterns that I'm, or those levels that I want to see if the market does pull back. Do we get a bounce off 15? That keeps it bullish in my opinion. Do we come down to 14.8 and do we get a bounce off that level? Where are these levels and where are we going to try to hold? So watching 15,260 to the upside today and really 15,000 today. I don't know if I want to see a bigger pullback than 15,000. 15,000 would be probably the extent to what I'm comfortable with seeing on a single day pullback. That's about 150 points today. If you get deeper than that, it's going to be a little bit of an ugly day. So watching 15K is my first level. And then 15,260 to the upside. But it's very easy to draw these levels, right, guys? I mean, it's just previous highs, pivot points, yeah. So that's NASDAQ. That's what I'm watching here. A little bit of weakness here this morning. ADP employment reports out. Let's see if we had that data here. 1 second. Okay, you got ADP March U.S. private sector jobs, 455,000. Does that really affect much? I don't feel like it will. We'll see what the reaction here is, but I don't think that's going to affect much there. All right. ES. So ES is definitely stronger. I will say that. Let me get this to zoom in because sometimes TOS doesn't want me to. So the ES is above all moving averages, and that's quite interesting to me. So the ES is above the 100, it's above the 200, it's above the 50, it's above the 20. We are above all moving averages on the ES. So definitely a pretty strong move on the S&P 500. It's a little bit difficult to judge where the S&P 500 slows down. I really don't see, major resistance, to be quite honest, up here until 4,700. 4,700 looks extremely difficult. Look at how many times we rejected that level back from November to January of last year. So that's a little bit interesting. ES is in an interesting level. It did get above these February highs, which is the highs that are the NASDAQ are rejecting. That is right here, right around 45.84. So if I go to the 4-hour chart, what we can see is that 45.84 are sort of those highs that the NASDAQ are rejecting right now. But you can see the ES is actually above it right here. See that? 45.84. Previous resistance, previous resistance, previous resistance. This time the ES got through. So ES is outperforming without a doubt. We'll have to see if that continues. If you get a pullback to like the 45.84, then I would definitely want to see that hold. If that doesn't hold, then you are going to probably find a little bit more weakness. But if you do get a pullback to these previous resistance levels today, you'd probably want to see that hold here, right around 45.80, guys. So watch that 45.80. If we go to the 30-minute chart, yeah, possible retest for sure. I mean, if the market's weak, I couldn't imagine us holding it, but it's a possible retest for sure. This is the making of a break and retest. So if you guys see the ES pull back to this today, and start to consolidate on this level and start to make higher highs and higher lows off of it, that is a very bullish thing, guys. This is a very bullish formation. I say it every stream, and it happens almost every time. These are very bullish formations. Break and retest, finding previous resistance, breaking through it, and turning it into support. There is nothing quite more bullish than a formation that looks like this, right? Break, retest, previous resistance into a support level, start to curl off of it. That is very bullish. So I'm not saying that's going to happen today because that would be a very bullish scenario. But if we do, I would look for more upside. Absolutely. If that is what happens today, I would look for more upside. If we break through it, then you got some more things to watch. You got these previous levels around 45.40. You got this previous high around 4,500. So we'll just have to watch some of these previous levels to the downside. The big one today, I think, is 45.80, that previous resistance. I think if that cracks today, guys, I think you see a little bit of weakness under it. And then to the upside, obviously just these previous highs, 46.30, and then 4,700. Because above where we are now, guys, I don't really see much of a strict resistance point. This is all just sort of chop. This whole area between 4,700 and where we are now, you guys can see right here. Look at all this price action. It's nothing really quite there. It's sort of just choppiness. So we'll see. ES is a little bit more sloppy. It has been a little bit more sloppy. The NASDAQ has been very, very clean in the levels that it's been trying to hold. The Dow, I think 35.6 right up here is probably, or 35.5, that's probably where you want to see this push to. Previous resistance, previous resistance, previous resistance, previous resistance. I think the Dow could probably make its way up to that 35.5. That's a little bit of a double top right there. The Dow is trading above the 100, the 200, the 50, and the 20. So trading above all the moving averages. But if you look at the moving averages, right, guys, they're very sideways. So the Dow's been a very sideways index for almost 5-6 months. So crazy. Dow hasn't really done much. It is recovering nicely, but I would watch out for that 35.5. The Russell, it finally did it, folks. This is interesting. The Russell finally did it. That is very interesting to me. So I need to watch this because what's the effect going to be that the Russell got above 2,100? This is important. This is no joke in my opinion. So look at this, right? Look at all this resistance or all this support, and it got above. So yeah, that's pretty nice stuff, guys. So watch the small cap. I don't know, watch small caps. That's why I bring up a firm and upstart today. I would watch some of these names. This is a pretty important move. If this holds 2,100 into the future, I would be very interested to see if Russell, if it does pull back, does it start to find support here now? That would be pretty nice. But that's an important breakout for small caps. Definitely sort of signaling something here. So what I would look for, if you want to trade this, pull back to 21, hold it as strength. Pull back to 21, hold it as support. See if that goes ahead and pushes off of it. But what I want to show you guys intraday yesterday, look at what it did in the morning. We were talking about this in the chat on the live stream, on the live voice chat. We pulled back to this intraday yesterday and bounced off of it very strong. Look at this intraday. This is around 10 o'clock yesterday a.m. Look at that intraday bounce off of 2,100. So very impressive hold and continuation. There's definitely a potential move here, guys. Like don't I wouldn't discount the fact that the Russell just got back above this 2,100 level. So IWM is the Russell, but yeah, AMC is in that. But AMC is just I don't trade that stock. There's more than just what the Russell does behind AMC, a lot more. So that's the futures, guys. To sort of recap, to sort of give you an idea of what I'm thinking today. We hit a brick wall up here on the NASDAQ, 15,260. We're definitely starting to slip off of it. If we see a break of yesterday's lows in 15,000, I think you're going to see some weakness in this market. I want to make sure everyone's prepared for it. Please make sure you are not overexposed here. This is a very big move over the last 2 weeks, and this is a very big rejection point. Previous resistance, as well as the 100 SMA on the daily chart. So that doesn't mean we're just going to go like this. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying that, you might find a little bit of weakness here. It's about time we pull back a little bit. So, yeah, that's what I'm looking at here. In 6 minutes, we have GDP, so we'll see what happens there. Tesla. So yesterday was the first red day on Tesla, right? In, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 trading days. Yesterday was the first red day. So what does that show us? I'm not sure, but does that show us that there could be some downside here, especially if we have a little bit of a pullback on the market? Yeah, absolutely. And do we fill this gap on the daily chart? Very possible as well. So you guys can see there is a gap from around 1020 to around 1050 on Tesla right here. Big gap on the daily. And if we break 1050, I think you're going to move back and fill that gap back to 1020. So that could be a very, very profitable trade if it does start to work. I would at least monitor that after this really big move. You guys can see in the past really big moves, sort of eventually sort of come back. Is this just another sort of pullback here? I don't know, but I'm definitely willing to watch for it. And I'm definitely willing to see if we fill that gap right there. Nice gap on the daily that could be taken advantage of. So let's watch that on Tesla. If market's sort of weak today, I would watch Tesla to the downside after its first red day. NVIDIA, 290, right? 290 was the level we were watching. You guys can see very tough up there at 290. Previous support. Big time resistance there on NVIDIA at 290. And this looks like another level to be aware of here because that came up and got pretty nasty, rejected pre-market yesterday and never quite recovered, right? NVIDIA was sort of dead yesterday. I will say I sort of like the hold that sort of came in though. You can see that we did hold this previous resistance as support on the intraday basis. So if we hold the 280s, I'd be happy with that. But, again, weak market. I think NVIDIA falls as well. I think you got to expect that, right? So watch this previous low of yesterday. That's, of course, what I would watch. Previous lows of yesterday. You got previous lows, which were previous resistance, right? You got resistance here, resistance all in here, turned into support yesterday. It's very clear, right? You don't want to see that break under that. If it breaks under that, then you're probably going to get some more slippage back down to like this 273 level, right? So just using previous levels to watch out for previous support, right? If you break 281, you probably come back into this channel here, maybe back into the 270s. So I really am a little bit concerned about that 290 above. You can see it here on the 4-hour chart, maybe a little bit better. Right there, guys, right? It's pretty obvious why NVIDIA would reject here. Support, resistance, and resistance, right? That's a huge level here at 290. So watch out for that 290 on NVIDIA, guys. If you get a pullback, it's expected, but that's a really tough level to watch out for. All right, Square and PayPal, just awesome stuff. Just really clean break and retests here on Square and PayPal. Look at this. So Square, you guys know, broke the 130, previous double top resistance, came back down to it, flagged, and made a beautiful breakout here. Look at this. So just a beautiful formation. Wanted to share it with you guys today. Look at that little flag on the 4-hour that formed at the retest level. You can see broke through, retested, held 130 like a champ, and then broke out yesterday on the retest, on the flag pattern. We had a previous resistance point of around 144, and I want to show you guys what happened intraday yesterday. So intraday yesterday, we had a previous high of around 144, and you started to hold that really well intraday. So you got through this. It was a little choppy here. It definitely faked some people out on the retest, right? Because you got through, retested it, bounced off, but you ended up getting sort of faked out on this one, and then came back above. But overall, you can see this 144 started to turn into some really nice support in the afternoon right here. And that is where we started to bounce off of, right around that previous high of 144. Got the big push. And now we have to see where this can go. So, Square, just a really nice setup. I wouldn't like it in a weak market, so it definitely still has a potential to pull back. But a really nice flag breakout at the retest level. I would at least keep an eye on this one to see if it can continue. I think next resistance is up here around 153. So that's Square, and something that I have been watching. PayPal's another one. PayPal's a stock that I'm actually in. I am in this play. And why did I take that? Because it's the exact same thing. Flag pattern, retest, previous resistance, into support, flag pattern on the retest, flag breakout, love it. Looked really good yesterday. had a previous high of around this 119.50. And if I go to the 1 minute chart, you guys will see intraday yesterday. If you watched my video yesterday, I got in here on a break and retest of previous highs. You guys can see right in this area, right? Rejection intraday, rejection intraday. Why would I get into this? Because it turned previous resistance into support. Very easy. As easy as that. You know, it doesn't take rocket science to see that previous resistance had turned into support on the intraday chart, and I took it there with a stop below, and here's where we're at now. So beautiful move, big move in the pre-market. I think you got an upgrade. Goldman Sachs initiates coverage with a buy rating, announces price target of 144. That'll help. Yeah, I'll take that. Thank you very much, Goldman. I appreciate you for doing that while I'm in the position. Goldman Sachs price target increase to 144. So very nice. Love it. We just got GDP numbers, so we'll be done with PayPal. Watch out for that. Same night. Very nice move. GDP revisions. All right, what are we getting here? U.S. fourth quarter GDP 6.9 versus 7. Okay, so basically the same. PCE price index 6.4 versus 6.3. Final core PCE price index 5 versus 5. So nothing too different. Consumer spending down. That's interesting. Consumer spending plus 2.5 versus 3.1. All right. Well, not much of a reaction just yet to those numbers. It seems like everything's pretty much in line for the most part. Let me see if wow, Walgreens turns to robots to fill prescriptions. Damn. That's not good for pharmacists. Interesting news. All right. So not much of a reaction right now off these off the GDP numbers, but it seems like everything's pretty much in line, which is, I think, a good thing. Anything that's in line, I think, is a positive. That's how I would take that. If it's in line, it's positive. No surprises. No, crazy numbers. Just as the market was expecting. So I'm okay with that. So you got GDP 6.9 versus 7. So 1.1% lower than preliminary GDP. I think we're okay. And the market doesn't seem to be reacting too aggressively off of it. So let's see what happens, but that's the numbers, guys. Basically, if I was to recap that, everything seems to be in line. You're a pharmacist at Walgreens? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, but no, yeah, I got, it says, here's the article right here. It says that pharmacists will have bigger responsibilities, though. Hold on, let's see. Walgreens turns to robots to fill prescriptions as pharmacists take on more responsibility. Okay, I think you're okay. Walgreens is opening a robot-powered microfilming center across the U.S. to fill prescriptions as the role of stores and pharmacists change. Well, talk to whoever's in charge there. I don't know. All right, so let's continue. Costco, Team Costco. So if we go to the 4 hour, we can see that the highs were 571.49. 571.49 is all-time high. Let's go 571.49. GDP was 6.9 versus 7 expected. Or the preliminary was 7. It's 6.9. Basically the same. I mean, a small miss, maybe 0.1%. All right, so 571.49 was previous all-time highs on Costco. If we go to the 1 minute chart, we can see that yesterday, actually, let's go 5. Yesterday, we went ahead and moved up into 571.22. So we were just about 27 cents off of all-time highs yesterday on Costco. and that is where we quickly rejected, tried to get up again, and rejected again. So it did recover. I don't see anything negative about this chart. It held up very well. It held up these 565 levels right here. So today, if you're watching Costco, I would want to see 565 hold, and I would want to see if we get that all-time high breakout. I'm not sure. I haven't seen an all-time high breakout in quite a while. Besides DE, John Deere, has been one of the very few all-time high breakouts that I have seen. Wow, John Deere's coming back quick. John Deere could be a very nice downside play there. That could very quickly come back to 390. But John Deere is one of the few stocks that I've seen in quite a while break out of all-time highs like this. So does Costco do something similar here, guys? This is very interesting. This is just an insanely strong chart. I mean, look at that. So I'm definitely interested. I don't know if I really want to play an all-time high breakout. It's not really a type of trade that I love to take. I don't like trading all-time highs because I just know that there's a lot of stacked up sellers up here, a lot of sort of trickiness that goes on up here. So I'm not sure I'll be looking for just that, but maybe I'll be looking to see if we do get a breakout of all-time highs and then maybe a little retest. So maybe if we get a breakout of all-time highs, which is right here at 571.49, maybe we get a little retest of it, start to hold all-time highs as support, and then maybe we get a push off of it. So just wanted to bring up Costco, guys, because it's been a hell of a stock, and I hope everyone here is sort of watching it. It definitely has provided opportunity, and it's been, you know, one of the strongest names and is sitting right at all-time highs. So I would watch that today. Apple. Apple, man. And I want to preface something real quick, and I'm starting to realize it myself, right? A lot of the stocks that we talk about in the stream are very similar. They always they're very consistent, and sort of sometimes I look at the same things. But I think it's for a very good reason, guys, and I want to make sure that you understand why. Like, I know a lot of people may, you know, think like, oh, we're looking at the same stocks every day. This market right now is it only cares about a few stocks, right? I want to make sure everyone is aware of that. It only cares about very select stocks. There's only a very select stocks that actually are providing opportunity right now, in my opinion, right? Good names, good tech names, good XLP names like Costco, like Walmart's been strong. Very, very selective. This is not a market-wide upside move right now that we're seeing. There are a ton of weaker tech stocks, small cap stocks that are barely making moves. So it may look like we're looking at a lot of the same things here on the live stream. I've been noticing it myself, like, oh, we're looking at Apple again, looking at Costco again, looking at Facebook again. But I'm not really finding as much. I'm only presenting to you what I think the market really likes in this market. Yeah, like AMC. Yeah, guys, we're never going to look at AMC on this live stream. So, you know, I just want to preface that because it's not really a market-wide move, guys. There's a lot of stocks that are not really doing much of anything. A lot of smaller cap stocks, a lot of crappy tech stocks that are making moves, but nothing that's really groundbreaking. Like, this move on Apple is much more important to pay attention to on a daily basis than looking to see if a stock like Peloton is making a move like this, right? Look at this move on Peloton, right? Yeah, great. It moved up over the last 2 weeks, but is that anything really to pay attention to? Like Roku as well, guys, right? You got your move here on Roku, and yeah, it's a good move, but is this anything when you zoom out, is there anything really that's breaking out here? Not at all. Not at all. So, you know, when I look at moves like this, or moves like this, I want to make sure I cover those. So just letting you know what I'm thinking here, why I'm looking at some of these, and why we look at them very consistently, because it's really not a market-wide move that I've noticed. So let's go ahead and take a look at Apple again. Apple has just been a monster. It got over a huge resistance level at 176.50. Look at this little breakout right here, guys. This is a huge breakout on Apple. 4-hour chart, we can see that this was a previous resistance point right here. So right there, resistance, and Apple went ahead and got over it yesterday on a very nice breakout. So does Apple retest 176.50 today? That would be fantastic. If I saw that, it'll pull back to 176.50, previous resistance here, previous resistance here. If we pull back to those resistance levels and hold it as support today, that would be right back down around here. That would be something, and something I would definitely look to see if I could play off of right here, right back in this 176 area. So looking for that pullback on Apple to the 176s to see if it does retest that previous resistance. Facebook pulling back a little bit here in the pre-market with the overall market. If we go to the hourly chart, I've been sort of watching this uptrend. I really like the uptrend that it's been on, and this is why I continue to hold my position. You guys can see, ever since the retest hold, this has just been sort of holding this uptrend. So for me, I will continue to hold Facebook as long as it's holding this uptrend. It's sort of right there at the 50 SMA on the 1 hour chart. You can see right there, 50 SMA on the 1 hour, which is the yellow line. If Facebook is above this trend line, I will continue to hold my swing. If it breaks below, I will take my profits. So this is sort of what I'm watching on Facebook, looking to see if this trend continues. Just wanted to share it with you guys, let you guys know about the trend that is currently going on here on Facebook. Over the last week and a half, Facebook has held a very consistent uptrend. So just wanted to share that with you guys here. You can see it here on the 30-minute as well. Very nice hold of it. Every single time it comes back down, it looks very strong. And if we look at the daily chart, I still do believe there could be room up to this 245. That's sort of my price target, 245. I think it maybe can fill, this entire move lower back to 245, and then the gap fills a whole nother question. That would be interesting. So watching Facebook on that uptrend. Affirm. So this is one of those moves that I'm just not loving. It's not really doing anything, groundbreaking. But it is something that I am looking to see. Is Affirm a stock that is a good opportunity down here? I've already started to add shares of Upstart in my long term because of how much it sold off, and I don't mind dollar cost averaging into some Upstart down here. But Affirm's another one that is an interesting one. Ridiculous move in 2021. Obviously needed to come back. Came back to the pre-ridiculous levels basically, and is now sort of making higher highs and higher lows. So you guys can see right here, 47. You have previous resistance rate or previous support down here around this 47, and you can see yesterday we actually got through it. So let me go to the 1 hour chart. You guys can see that yesterday we got through this resistance here at 47. So I want to at least see what Affirm is going to start doing. By no means do I think this is ready for an investment. By no means do I think that this thing's on its way back. But it's a stock I wanted to bring up in the live stream to just sort of keep an eye out for, because I like their business model, and it's a stock I want to sort of track. I think buy now, pay later is something that's pretty lucrative, and something that will be pretty important into our future. And this is a stock that's doing pretty well. They have a lot of partnerships, and just wanted to bring it up today. Technicals are starting to look a little better. You got some resistance here around this 50. Let's see what it can do. So Affirm and Upstart are two that I want to see if the small caps wake up. If this Russell continues over 21, I think that helps AFRM. I think that absolutely helps AFRM. Affirm if this Russell continues over 2100. So that's sort of what I'm watching there. Upstart's another one that has started to sort of consolidate after its humongous dive. You guys know Upstart was $400 a share, dropped 78%, lost almost 80% of its value, which is wild. And I see that it's starting to consolidate. So I've started to buy shares right down here, right? I'm starting to buy shares in here. So that's what I'm going to watch. I'm going to start, I've been buying shares, dollar cost averaging into my long term here. That's what I'm going to start to do here, and see if Upstart can start to, sort of work its way back up here off this 84. Nice consolidation. I like when a stock goes from a falling knife to consolidation. I think that is a sign of, people starting to buy it up. They're starting to find support, starting to accumulate shares. Volume has increased drastically down here. Look at this volume increase down here on Upstart. So I'm definitely watching this one. It really needs to break over 160 for any type of real move to go on. But these two stocks, just wanted to bring them up today, guys. Stocks that I'm watching and very interested in for the longer term. I will pull up my... Wanted to give you guys an update on my M1 Finance account. Just been awesome, man. It's back in the green, which is crazy to think that I was starting to invest in November of 2021. It's crazy to think that I started to buy shares in this in November of 2021, and I am up 2.7%. That's not something that's normal, right? And how does that happen? That happens because I continue to buy, continue to dollar cost average. So my first purchases here, if I could go to maybe... I don't want to go to bank connection. I want to show you. Let me see. I want to make sure I don't show you guys my bank account. Let me see what. There we go. I think okay. So if we go to here, what we'll see is my first transfer into this account was November 8th, November 15th, and all these November and December, every single week since November, it's if we go to the holdings, up $556. So awesome to see that come back. Just dollar cost averaging, and woo. Hopefully woo's up nice. But you guys, I just wanted to show you that Upstart. Here's what I'm doing on Upstart. So I've started to purchase some Upstart shares. Just wanted to show you guys the truth, the actual holdings. So my average price right now is $129. So right in this sort of area at this consolidation. And I'm going to start just buying this slowly but surely. Just sort of dollar cost average into it. Not really worried about the P&L. Just see if I can start to accumulate some shares here of Upstart down at these lows. So just wanted to share that with you guys. So that's that. Finally, Netflix. Yeah, of course you get to pick the stocks you want. Netflix. I'm having a very difficult time whether, what I would love to hear your guys' opinion on Netflix into the future. I'm having a very difficult time thinking about what Netflix does here because Netflix is... Why do I borrow out of it? I borrow into the long term. So I'll show you. You can, M1 Finance, you can take portfolio loans and you can use it to buy shares. So you pay 2% interest. Here you go. So I've borrowed $6,000 and I pay $9 a month for it. And that $6,000 goes right into shares of my long term. So I think I'm making more than $9 a month with my $6,000 at work in my account. So like most of it has gone into these top stocks, the high value stocks, or the high target stocks, right? 13, 12, 11, 10%. Most of this has gone into those, and I'm absolutely making more money than $9 a month on it. So yeah, it's like it's a portfolio loan. You can take you guys see I have credit available, right? 2,100. I could literally borrow this right now and send it to my bank account. I could go from borrow to my bank account. I could take $2,100 and I'd pay $3.94 monthly. If I needed to pay my mortgage right now, because I was out of money, which I obviously can pay my mortgage, but if I needed to, I can just take it out right now. It'll send it right to my bank account. And that's a portfolio loan. That's what the rich people do, man. People that have like $1 million in a investment account, if they want to buy a house, this amount credit available, it'll say 300,000, right? 300,000 credit available. All right, let me take it out. Let me take 300K out at 2% on my portfolio as a collateral, and let me go buy that house for cash. And then I don't even need to worry about getting a mortgage. I'll just buy it for cash with my portfolio loan. It's not the same as margin, really. It's I guess you could say it's similar, but this is more of a loan against your portfolio. And the collateral is your portfolio. So if I it's similar to margin because you can see the maintenance percent is around 59%. So if this drops, then they'll start selling my position. So similar in that sense, yes. But a margin you can't take out as yourself. Like you couldn't go to TD Ameritrade and say, hey, I need 6,000 cash on margin for my own personal use, right? You can use this for your personal use. Like I could take a loan out and put it right into my bank account. So my mortgage is actually, just to surprise everyone, my mortgage is actually $1,100 a month. And I got very lucky at that. So yeah, I bought my house in August of 2020. So about 6 months before COVID hit, I bought my house for $270,000. That is, it's about double that, maybe even almost double and a half that now. So I got very lucky on my real estate purchase. My real estate purchase is one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life, and that's why I love real estate so much, and that's why I see so much value in real estate, and why that's really one of my main goals is to get more involved in real estate. I just need to save up more cash. All right, let's go over what the members want to look at, because we're running out of time here. And we'll get out of here and head over to the Discord chat. Yeah, I couldn't buy a house in Naples where I live right now. It's too expensive. It's literally, I have friends that just can't. It's really sad. It sort of is upsetting what I'm seeing happening for a lot of my friends. I would be in the same situation. I have friends that just can't buy houses anymore because they're just too expensive. It's like, how do you expect a normal working 20, let's say they're anywhere from like 24 to 27-year-old to buy a $700,000 house? And that's just, it's crazy. You can't get a decent house in Naples for less than like $600,000. It's wild. So I could see the problem that could occur for a lot of younger individuals that just can't quite afford. They're going to have to rent, and renting is also expensive. You can't rent an apartment for less than like $2,500 a month. Yeah, I guess if you want to get like a shitty loan out, you could, like 3% down, shitty loan. I would never want to take out like a low interest, or I wouldn't want to pay PMI. But yeah, anyways, let's stay focused here. We could have a real estate talk another time. Qualcomm. First one's Qualcomm. Little daily chart breakout. Watch out for this resistance right here. I've been watching this resistance around 161. Yeah, you cannot trade an M1, guys. Don't open an M1 account and try to trade. That's not what that account is for. It's for strictly long-term investing. Watch out for 160, 161 on Qualcomm. And then just keep an eye on the market today. LOW over 222. Lows. Yeah, nice double bottom on lows. If you were to get into this, just have your stop below these lows. Lows. So yeah, a decent setup on lows here. Easy stop loss under this double bottom. Maybe look for some upside. So yeah, CRM, guys, you can see support, starting to make higher lows, higher highs. It's a decent move, but I'm just a little bit cautious on it. So you can see right here. You guys can see right here, rejection. I would watch this 222 level on CRM. You guys can see all these rejections that came in. Rejection from the 22nd of March, and you rejected it yesterday again. So watch out for 222 on CRM. MasterCard, just a choppy ass stock, man. I don't know. I don't like MasterCard at all. Maybe does MasterCard give a dividend? If MasterCard gives a dividend, I would just buy it for the dividend, because it's not a tradable stock in my opinion. It's just everywhere. Yeah, it's pushing. Maybe you got it off the lows, but now you got to watch it off the highs. So just be careful. Maybe you get it up to 380s. Maybe you get it back down. It's just very choppy. If you like to trade in channels, go for it. I'm not a big channel trader. I don't like trading in channels. I like trading on a trend. So you've been flat for about a year, honestly. And, maybe 382. But just be aware, it's definitely a channel type trade. And inside a channel, I do not trust anything. I really don't trade. I don't like trusting anything inside a channel. All right, last but not least, Boeing. This is a great hold on Boeing, right? Look at this hold at 184. It's a good hold, and it's starting to push off of it. So is this the move on Boeing back towards this topside channel? It could be. It absolutely could be. So yeah, I would watch Boeing. Is this where everyone, when we look at Boeing in hindsight, we always say, buy it on the lows of the channel, sell it on the tops of the channel. Well, here we are. We're at the low of the channel. Is it time for Boeing to push to the top of the channel again? I would watch out. Just keep an eye on the Dow Jones, see the strength in the Dow, and see how Boeing performs. But yeah, very possible. All right, guys, that's it for me. I got to head over to the Discord chat. If you guys want to come hang out with us, the link is down in the description below. You join. You can leave at any time if you don't like it. I could guarantee you that you will like it. I shout out to everyone that's in there. We've been absolutely killing it. I'm sure a lot of you guys that are here are from the Discord, so thank you guys for everything. What a week it's been, and I really hope to finish this week strong. Let's continue to focus in, make sure that we're not, getting our pants pulled down too far, of course, again, and see what today gives us. But risk management, focusing on where your stops are, focusing on structured trades, focusing on, position sizing, everything. As no matter what happens in this market, man, you will be okay if you have all those things in place. You'll take some losses, but I promise you'll still be around, you'll still be kicking, and you'll still have gunpowder dry to take another opportunity. So keep that in mind. You can be here for the long game, man. Don't try to just come into this market with your, with your big wallet and throwing out huge trades because you know everything. Humble yourself. Focus on risk management. Focus on position sizing, and let's continue to grind. So, thank you guys for being here. Press the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you guys could. If we get to 500 likes, that would be great. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.